Start recording. Good morning. Welcome to Friday Hot Takes. Today we will be discussing the most interesting topic of this week, which is the new DeepSeek AI. For today, we brought an article. This article is about DeepSeek may have used OpenAI's model to train its own computers. So, Pauline and Gio, what are your ideas on the new DeepSeek AI and what would the impact be on this AI sector?
What's your hot take, Michiel?
I think it's very exciting to have this model released. I think it was released on Monday or Sunday or just a little bit earlier. But I didn't have time yet to install it and to play with it. I only saw the videos of it, but I'm really like tomorrow I have a day off. I have some time left, so I will definitely install it and try to run it and see what it's capable of. I'm really looking forward to it.
And what you're talking about is running your own version of the open
Yeah,
source
running it
program.
myself, because what was previously only possible was to have like a wrapper around it. So you could write a program and you could have some heavy lifting done by OpenAI. So you send them your data and you get an AI response back. That's of course very exciting, but we got used to that already. But now you can run it in your own system, which I think is very, very exciting. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I've used it a little bit already.
You were very surprised by it.
I was.
I remember.
Because it's, I used it before it went really like very, very mainstream. It was just like pretty niche YouTube videos and some people on X talking about it. And then it was really nice because you could still use the browsing functionality. So basically, when you open up DeepSeek, it's a very lean UI like ChatGPT used to be. Of course, when you go to the DeepSeek website, that's not something that you host yourself, right? That's just the hosted version by the DeepSeek company. And there you could choose between having browsing on, yes or no, and have it using the advanced model. And a week ago, you could still do those two things. Now I think browsing has been turned off because it's too popular. There's been a very big move from what I see, a lot of people have switched or at least using DeepSeek on a daily basis a lot more than ChatGPT. And yeah, for me, it was really impressive, especially because it's so simple to start using. You're already used to, structuring your prompts in a certain way. I think this is going to be, as they say, a Sputnik moment for
I do
AI.
agree on that. Yeah, it's definitely a Sputnik moment. Like it can accelerate what's happening a lot. I think.
Yeah, and I love what I love most about this is that it's really a big middle finger to OpenAI's $200 per month subscription.
They were getting a little bit cocky indeed. Yeah, with the Sam Altman. It's not an affair, but it's like he went to Microsoft and he didn't. Microsoft bought it. Microsoft invested. He didn't invest.
It used to be
So-
like a nonprofit organization.
Indeed, yeah. So there's a lot of saga about it, and this is
Yeah.
like get your shit together and make
Yeah.
sure it just works. Make sure
Yeah.
you're on top of everything, that you're at the edge, or we will take over. And I think that's what tech needs to progress.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And isn't it great that OpenAI
It's not
is charging $200 a month and has everything proprietary, and then DeepSeek just made it open source. A Chinese company, but actually, it's not about China versus US that much. I think as it is open source versus proprietary.
Absolutely. Yeah. We still have to see, however, like there's a lot of claims being made, a lot of people talking about it who just read the articles. I didn't see like a lot of tech people really getting into the details and running it. And that's something that I really look forward to. Because of course there's a claim that they trained it with like 100 million only or like 5 million as a company for startup. Those are claims. Some people say that's true, some people won't. So there's a lot of debate and there might be some misinformation still. So I think that's still some of the things we will see in the coming weeks to see what's true and what isn't.
Yeah.
Yes, for that, I heard you guys already talk about the Sputnik moment of AI, and this could be very much possible as we see that they might have used the process of distillation. So they use OpenAI's model to train their model, which is an easy way to train the model, but they needed OpenAI with their giant budgets to train their model. So do you think it will still in the future be easier to train the models, or they would still need a lot of investment to actually have a base model to use those techniques for further development?
it will definitely be easier to keep training the models. The main problem with training on a trained model is that you have a convergence about what the model is doing, because ChatGPT was trained on some information that is already available. So it took over all the biases that we have now and all the things that it should be corrected for and that they did correct afterwards. But if you train on that model, which might or might not be correctly corrected, then you further amplify the biases that are already there. So it's not like the technology is like having a political opinion on something, but it's just amplifying what has been written, and it will do that further and further. So that's something you have to be very careful with. However, you shouldn't restrict it just because of that reason, I think. Because somebody will do it anyhow, somewhere, as we see now. They will still take all the data available and someone will make it available. So it shouldn't be regulated too tightly now while we're still exploring it.
Because there's already being talk about governments looking at regulating open source AI development for safety and to prevent misuse. But yes, what's the definition of misuse? That of course depends on each individual government.
Changes so fast, and it's at this very moment it's not possible to regulate it or to have like the EU AI Act is at this very moment not very relevant because it changes too much for companies, and they will either move abroad and not be regulated by it, or they will not use it and lag behind in the business scene. So that's not really a good thing, I think, at the moment.
I think 100% anyone who is not using AI just to make their daily work easier is falling so far behind, like on your individual career and as a company. If you're doing nothing with AI, you're behind so far.
I do get why, as a company, like a legal company or something, or any company for that matter, you would prohibit your employees from using it. Because, of course, they will just dump every confidential PDF and topic in there and email. And of course, OpenAI, they say they are not keeping the data, but of course they will, and they will keep the data, and they will use it to train it. And there will be a hack where all the data gets exposed. This happens in these kind of technological environments. So of course, I understand it, but you need some way of using it or you lag behind.
Yeah. I definitely hope that this means that just like, because OpenAI with their $200 per month subscription kind of set the bar for pricing there. Yesterday, I was using Notion AI, and I wanted to connect our Slack to it so that you can actually have the Notion AI search everything that's in your Notion, and everything is perfect for us because we use Notion heavily and Slack even more. And the charge, I had to upgrade my subscription, which was going to be $700 today, and on the next billing cycle, more than $4,000.
Yeah, which for
for a small team.
small team is
That
not
is
a.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
That's
ridiculous.
crazy.
That might also be like announced by the DeepSeek release. Like
Yeah.
it gets more practical, it gets cheaper to run, so you can also decrease the operational cost of it. So I really look forward to the applications of that. It's also something we saw at the stock market this week. Like the
Yes.
companies that provide the infrastructure, they went down, like Nvidia is a big example. But the companies that are the users of AI, they went up because they can now use AI cheaply in their products.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good switch because the stock market, we have seen the largest drop in history for a single stock, which was Nvidia. It in value they went down the hardest. thanks for having us today at this Friday Tech Talks. Next week, we'll be back with a new topic and some new insights.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline and Michiel. Yeah.
Thank you, Michiel and Gabriel, to meet you.